Before I start, I wanted just to make one comment because I have to. Looking at the room today, and thank you all for sitting and listening to me, but looking at the room today, the future of the decentralized encrypted internet looks 83% male, and that is a problem. We are each responsible for bringing the other half of the talent with us. So next time you go to a conference, bring a woman with you who's interested in this or works in some kind of area around this, because it is totally relevant to them, and we can't have a proper conversation without a 50-50 gender balance in the room. Anyway, without any further ado, I will start. I want to talk to you today about how we design the things that we make. When did you last see this happen? This is someone who's signed up for a service to get some information, but then that service has tweeted on her behalf, and she's then posted an apology to her followers because she didn't realize that was going to happen. The permission model for this is very simple. Darkpatterns.org calls it friend spam. And the problem is that these kind of patterns are not intended for people to really understand what's going on, but they are very easy to use. When did you last watch someone get started with PGP? I've recently started a company where many members of the team have never done this kind of stuff before. And honestly, it is horrible watching them try to kind of fumble through this. This is installing encryption on Windows for the first time at 20 times speed. It's a video I found on YouTube by Darius Fontaine. Thank you, Darius. And this is someone who knows the process. And he's made it as simple as possible, but then, even then, he's had to annotate his own video with lots of notes, corrections, and clarifications. We've developed really smart tools with dumb experiences that mean only specialists can work out what they need to do to use them. So the tools only get used by a very small number of people. And somehow, it's like we've forgotten that people actually have to use the things we build. I'm a designer. That's me in the corner. This is a photo I took yesterday before I flew out to Berlin. And I work at IF, a design studio. We make things that change how people think about privacy, security, and data. Our mission is to make those things more empowering, positive, and active. Our work is based on people, what they need now, and how they really use things. We want to make useful products and services that don't take advantage of the people who use them. And we want to open up the language around technology, making it much easier for people to understand what they're using and what the implications are. Something we've done recently is this catalogue of design patterns for data sharing. We made it for ourselves, and we've shared it openly for other people to use and add to. We're collecting permission models that exist now and could exist soon, because it helps us think about the ways that people interact with services and what their expectations are. This is a GitHub site. You can add patterns that you think we've missed, and we're looking to develop this as a resource that's continually evolving, not just by us, but by many engaged individuals. So please do add to it. And we're doing this because, we believe that people should be in control of what they share, of their data. And in fact, the tools that this community are making, as we've heard this morning, are all about giving people more control. But at the moment, many of them are really hard to use. And if I'm honest, it feels like we're waiting for the major players to do it for us. In an update this year, WhatsApp worked with Open Whisper systems and switched on encryption. Overnight, over 1 billion people got to have end-to-end encrypted messages. And the way they described it was really simple and straightforward. They used examples people would recognize. It didn't upset many of their users, although it did upset the government of Brazil, who denied access to it. And now, from kind of February, I think, Gmail have started surfacing when things aren't secure with an icon with some simple explanation about what it means if the mail client at the other end of that email doesn't encrypt in transit. These are simple, clear patterns. The explanations are in plain English. People feel like they're getting something. But people still don't have agency, because these users are still subject to the whims of these companies' business models. These companies shouldn't hold a monopoly on building good tools. Working with people is crucial to build the right thing. Juan mentioned that earlier in his talk. Thank you, Juan, right at the beginning. And for me, it doesn't matter who you are in a team. You should spend time with people, understanding how they use technology and what their needs are. As my colleague Richard Pope says, design is a multidisciplinary task. It's not something that one person on your team does, because user experience is everyone's job. So you have to go out there and find out what people need, learn how they use the tools that they already have, and work with them to uncover the tools that they didn't know that they needed. And that's why that building something that users understand means understanding users. And there are people already doing that from this community, and here are some examples. There's Keybase's verification, where you can find proofs of someone's identity as easily as you would in a contacts book. Or their file system that gives users public and private storage simply by putting a / and then their name into the Keybase URL. And it also has easy permissions that people can understand on top. Also, this is just one example of a password manager. I'm pretty sure most people in this room will be using one kind of password manager or another. One we were quite impressed with was 1Password, particularly for their onboarding process, which is super easy to follow. Another example is the UK government's DVLA that gives drivers the opportunity to share their driving licence, but with a one-time code that expires after 21 days, so people don't have to share their licence indefinitely. These are all really smart. Coinbase, that provides backups of their users' Bitcoin wallets in a physical vault that helps users who may lose access to their wallet for whatever reason. This is also super smart. And doing this right is getting more and more important, because more and more things are becoming connected to the internet and more data is being produced than ever before. But also, the technology landscape has changed. People are starting to understand how important this stuff is, and they want tools that help them do it properly. Whether that's looking at the number of people who have got stickers on their webcams or do use ad blockers, this is all evidence that people are interested now. And I know this because I've seen people take control. One of the patterns of consent is data licenses, a model where users can customize who can use their data and what for. We demonstrated the data licenses at an exhibition in Somerset House in London, and we built these kind of kiosks where people could come and generate a license for 3 different kinds of data, health, home, and travel. So we had like a travel card, something that resembled a kind of fitness tracker, and beneath the white banner at the bottom, there's like a connected thermostat. And after 4 months of the exhibition being live, we had 15,571 licenses made. People were really engaging with their data in a new way. For instance, rather than share publicly or not share at all, 69% of people overall, that's over 10,500 people that visited this little exhibition, chose to customize the permissions for how their data was shared. People take control when they're offered it and understand it. So I would encourage you all to combine your knowledge of how things work and these emerging technologies with a deeper understanding of what people need now and what they're probably going to need next. And why not? Because it's never been easier to make, break, and develop things. If you want to change things, relentlessly focus on people. Thank you.